It's Atlanta's #1 hip-hop station, Hot 107.9 and home for the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. Of course, you know it's your folk, B-High Radio, shouting, stepping in the building. I got my Mississippi fam in this thing. Big Krit, what's good with it, my dog?
What's happening, man? You know what it is, man. We kicking excited.
I'm feeling good, feeling great, Krit, but I mean, forever is a mighty long time, my dog.
Definitely.
Talk to me about this thing, man. Like I said earlier, when I saw that album was double, I knew that we were in for trouble, Krit.
Yeah.
Break it down to me, man.
Man, double album, Big Krit side, and then you got the Justin Scott side. And just showing the duality, brother. I've always had a hard time trying to sequence records, right? Or just the idea of the music I create, from it being trunk rattling then to introspective.
Exactly.
Even from the Forever and a Day cover, I was letting people know that, right? When these two decisions you have to make, and you understand both of them, one of them may be very bad for you, but you might do that more than the other, right? And so it's one of them situations where I decided to split the albums into two, and to talk about the superhero side of myself when I get on stage, and the confidence and the aggression and the lyrical prowess when you're talking about an album, which is in Big Krit. Yeah. But then to have the Justin Scott side, which is the anxiety and the insecurity and the depression and what goes on in life when you at your house and you ain't at your job, or when you ain't on that stage. And I wanted to split it up and talk about both. And yeah, bro, sonically they both sound different. Cadence-wise, even vocal tone-wise, feature-wise, there's no hip-hop features or rap features on the Justin Scott side. Simply soulful and musicians, but they're the rap features and the aggression is on the Big Krit side, and the trunk rattling. So yeah, bro, I'm excited.
Talk to me about that Justin Scott side, though, man. Because I mean, when you talk about the anxiety and just the depression and just making things do what they're supposed to do when you get home, what made you and gave you the courage to talk about that, man?
I mean, I think I've always been open in the music that I made, man. A lot of people, the first time they ever heard about me was Children of the World, which was a record where it wasn't glamour and glit. It wasn't, anything meant to totally destroy you on a lyrical level, but it was me telling about what I was going through in my life at the time. And that was the beginning. And that was a time when a lot of A&R told me people didn't want to hear that, right? So fast forward to now, when I'm in a position where I'm independent, I get the opportunity to express myself and not have to play my music. I hope people understand it as far as boardroom is concerned, and I can just go with my idea. I was like, I wanted to split both these things up, and I wanted to finally do this double album idea. And the Justin Scott side is literally all the things that I think as a human that you go through when you sometimes doubt yourself, or when you're in love and you're trying to figure it out, or when you're leaning on whatever your vice is and you know it's not good for you, but it's getting you through the day. When you asking for forgiveness, when you're trying to keep the devil off you, and it's all that comprised. And on top of that, it's the understanding that you're just trying to do better in life. It's like, I just want to be a better person. And Justin Scott side has all those things and components. Because we human at the end of the day, and we normally don't realize it, but we play two different sides when it comes to life, whatever, and how we interact with people, and how we are when we at the crib by ourselves.
Come on now, I mean, keeping the devil off of you, though.
Yeah, you got.
I mean, they keep the devil off, man. I mean, the visual was cold-blooded, also, man. Talk to me about putting that banger together,
man. It took 2 years to put that record together. I was a lot of different organ aspects to it, a lot of different breakdowns and drops, even going from just me being on the hook to being able to incorporate a choir, and then having Nikki Grish sing on it, and then having the organ added to it the way it sounds now. It took 2 years, brother. It was the longest record I ever worked on to have it sound like that. And then actually being able to sit down and take dance. Well, not even sit down, but take dance lessons to some degree with an amazing choreographer named Ra Ra. Killed it, right? And she's from Atlanta. You know, she out of A-Town. And with her and create this whole scheme with, I'm from Mississippi, Bible Belt, and it feels like that. If you've never been to church, it's still taking you there. There's no curse words in it. We had a big breakdown, and I needed it to feel like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, these features that you got on the album, too, man, you got some heavy-hitting mother lovers on there. You understand me? I'm trying to keep them cussing myself.
Yeah, no doubt.
CeeLo Green,
UGK, Brown.
And then you round it out with a Jill Scott, too,
Jill Scott, Joy. Shout out to Dungeon Family. You feel me? Yeah.
Talk to me about bringing these other creators into the studio and getting busy with them,
Oh, man. Well, UGK, for me, is a no-brainer. you know, they definitely influenced me as far as music is concerned, and being proud of being Southern and country, right?
Exactly.
Bun B is the OG, and to have the opportunity to work with him and learn and chop it up with him, it's definitely changed not only my perspective music wise, but life as well. And to have it say featuring UGK, and a lot of people haven't heard the record yet, and I'm excited for them to hear how it starts off, right? T.I., after we did the record that he featured me on the Us album, it just made sense, because I know the OG is keen on cadence. And he gonna kick it in a different flow, in a different way, but the lyrical prowess is always there. And in the record Big Bank, it's the way that beat ride, it just made sense, right? It made sense. Yeah, man, and Sleepy Brown is on Get Up to Come Down, and he's bringing that melodic playerness to it. Then CeeLo is on it as well, and I got a rapping CeeLo verse.
What?
And I didn't. It just worked out that way. But
Come on now.
It's crazy. Yeah, Jill Scott. Again, man, I didn't expect any of these to happen the way it did, which it was just so like, let's work, and it worked out that way with no label involved, nothing. And Jill Scott just was down to work, and she's such a beautiful soul, and you know, cultivated the record with me, a higher calling. Joy, which she's been down and supporting me since Returning Forever. She was on a record called Shake It, killed it, right? Then she was on Mind Control singing with me on Calatica, so it just made sense. Bilal is on the album, you feel me? On the Justin Scott side. On top of that, Robert Glasper on piano, Kenneth Whalum on sax, Jamal Williams on drums, and Bernice Boomtown on bass.
Yeah.
All these amazing jazz musicians. Keon Harold playing the trumpet on Drinking Sessions. Come on. Bro, it's crazy.
What goes through your mind?
Manny Fresh, I'm sorry, Manny Fresh produced one on there featuring Lloyd called 1999, bro. It's a lot going on.
No, it's going down. Yeah. It ain't nothing going on. It's going down on this album, Krit.
Yeah, bro.
Now, what goes through your mind, though, Krit, when you look up and you realize you done put out a major label album independently?
Man, all I think of, I wish I would have did it sooner.
Ooh.
But it takes that hindsight 2020, right? I mean, a lot of the mixtapes I put out in between the albums, people be like, man, there's so much freedom there, and they loved it because I was creating them from a perspective where it wasn't so much pressure. I didn't have to worry about whether people understood the content. I was like, man, I want to put this out, and we did it.
Yeah.
And then when we got to the album time, it was so much other stuff flowing around it, whether the budget was right or whether it was this or planning for people that may not get it sometimes. I didn't have to worry about that with this album. And it showed. And it felt as free as those mixtapes felt. But, yeah, it's on that major scale.
Bet it up. Now, when you think about this music, though, right now, Krit, the state of hip-hop as it is right now, what do you feel like you bringing to it during this time?
I feel like I'm bringing to it just not only the authenticity, but and then we still got the hunger there, but the grit and the soul, too, right? When you talking about synthesized instruments, and people don't even realize this, when you're talking about synthesized instruments, not even necessarily working with musicians, normally the music you make is limited because you're dealing with 8-bar loops sometimes, and it's still a bounce, it's still there, but the music doesn't move. I definitely wanted every record on my album to move, and you're dealing with live instrumentation, not being so restricted musically, and you don't know change is happening, and you didn't expect it, and that was very important. But also just the understanding that it's not that I dislike what's going on now. It's not that I'm not feeling it or whatever. As a producer, I see pockets and points where I like certain things. I'm like, I wouldn't mind working from that perspective or getting out of my comfort zone. But I know being Krit is the best thing for me.
Exactly.
And no matter what wave or what's going on trending, I'm never gonna fall into that. I'm gonna do me.
Exactly.
And it just pays off, bro.
How is it for you being able to do you now without any major label control or interaction with the music?
Man, I mean, I would say it's just not as difficult because I was doing me then, right? But it was just more of an uphill battle. Yeah. You know, when you tell somebody, yo, I believe in this song, let's run with this song, it's only so many responses you're gonna get, but it's either yeah or no, right? So it's just you dealt with a lot of no's. Or I dealt with a lot of no's in the beginning, but now it's just like, yeah, that's what you want to do, let's do it.
Exactly.
Right? Because we in a day and a time now where it's hard to tell me what I'm paying ain't working when I'm still here.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, oh, bro, I'm still here, and it ain't. It's like, and people still anticipating what happens next.
Well, see, I think the reason why you still here, Krit, is because you earn that respect from people by doing you. Boy. You see what I'm saying? When you come into this game, you could have been a cookie cutter. Nah. And guess what? A cookie cutter would have fell off the shelf, and we would have said, you remember that joker that sound like so-and-so?
Definitely don't want to be that.
Come on, man. So, you know, Krit is going to be Krit.
Always,
and then when folks are looking for a breath of fresh air in the middle of everything that's going on.
Come on by.
You can say, exactly. Let me talk about Krit. How's it get a breath of fresh air in this thing? You see what I'm saying?
Come on by.
Now, Krit, take me back to country shit, though, man, because, see, you know, that was one of my favorites also.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind during that time when you dropped that? Then you turn around and remixed it with the Bun and Luda. You see what I'm saying? Getting into this rap game early and having them two major cosigns with a banging ass song like that. Yeah. What was that like for you at that time?
Man, crazy. So country shit, before it was on Krit Was Here, I had pressed that up on a small little tape and was passing it out, like getting my shit together. I remember being at the SEA Awards and places like that, like, yo, I'm pushing this record.
Yeah.
But I knew what that record was before it got what it got, right?
Yeah.
I was like, man, bro, this shit here, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's being country and being proud of it, but not making it forceful.
Exactly.
It's like we having fun. And then being able, once I was able to push it out there and it was on Krit Was Here, and then being able to get Bun and Luda on it, you just tying in not only so many different generations, but it's just that same fun at the time where I think hip hop was, in a way, it was getting aggressive, but it wasn't. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it just was refreshing.
Yeah.
A refreshing country record with soulful too.
Exactly.
Right? And it was knocking and it won. And it's not in a way that's degrading. It's being country and being loved and you putting people on to the culture.
Yeah.
That was a win. And we still perform that motherfucking.
Damn right.
Go off.
But what was that like for you being unapologetically country coming into the game of hip hop? Where they act like country rap tunes might not exist like they're supposed to, but you understand what the movement is because you come from it. And see, also understanding that, because see, when you grow up in it, you know what you like.
Yeah.
Period, point blank. So you're like, no, fool, I'm doing what I like.
I mean, but I never run from it too. I mean, it's sonically, it's really easy to get caught up again in what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I never run from it because I know what music I was listening to influenced me
exactly.
and why it did so much. That being proud and being Southern and being country is so important to me. And then being from a state where people sometimes they either never go or their view of it is negative. So for me, it was only right that I go very hard, right? But I dealt with a lot from being so aggressive that it came off in a way on Live from the Underground that wasn't received in a way that that it ended up being received on Cadillac. Because you go from trying to bring people in your world to being mad that they don't understand your world. And it's very easy.
Yeah.
And so I learned from that, where it's like, if you ain't never been in Mississippi, I can't be mad at you for that.
Yeah.
But just let me tell you, if you do ever come, that this is how you should maneuver, and this is how it is, and enjoy it, instead of just being mad at you. And so I grew out of that, and then it made it better, and even with Cadillac and that vibe, because this Southern shit, this country shit, man, is here to stay.
Come on.
And it ain't going nowhere, and we are very much pioneers of why music is the way it is now. That screw, and anytime you decide to screw your vocal in a record, I know where that come from.
Come on.
So for me, it's just pay homage to those people. Because if you don't, it don't matter, because I'm always going to do it.
Exactly. I mean, speaking of that screw, another one of my favorites, Krit, me and my old school.
What you know about it? Hey, see?
Me and my old school, Krit.
Man, I had to go pay homage, man. And then I go throw Slim. I go throw Lil Kiki.
Yeah.
You feel me? For me, it's just, I got to.
Yeah.
I have no choice, man. The music, before I was rapping, that's what I was a fan of. And so, why not?
What was that like, though, man, being able to screw that song, get them boys on it, man, and take it to Texas and just cut up out there, man? Come on.
Now, mind you, before that, Moon and Stars came out and we shot the video in H-Town with Currency and Killer Caleon, right? And Houston showed up and showed love, all the slabs, and it was amazing. Bun was out there, and the camaraderie from Texas and the embracement is amazing, bro.
Yeah.
Because I'm from Mississippi.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like when they were rapping about what they were rapping about, I got it. I understood.
Exactly.
And to be able to go there now and rock out, to be able to work with Bun, Corey Moe, to be in that loop, Slim, have a record with Comedian, had a record with Paul Wall, all these legends, Lil Kiki, Slim, Come on, man. You can't beat that.
I mean, you got to throw Banner in there too, man.
Yeah.
Another Mississippi brethren.
Who did it first?
Come on,
right?
Man. What was that like for you when you saw Banner come out of Mississippi, man, and you knew that you had to meet that guy and get up with him somehow, man?
I saw Banner perform at this place called McIntosh Farms years ago, right? And this was when Like a Pimp really started popping off.
Yeah.
He brung out a little flip. And Banner was the first performer I seen to go so hard, whether you knew who he was or not, bro. The man, he was blowing fire back then.
Yeah.
He didn't realize, like, his stage presence, he blow fire, he jumping out in the crowd. Bro, and that was the beginning of that showed me about your stage.
Yeah.
Like how you gotta get your wall. Like, and I took that from him and on like stage presence on some like, bro, when I go out here, bro, whether you feeling or not, 5 to 5,000, I'm finna go in. Right?
Exactly.
Musically, producing. Like the production he was creating, whether he was on it or not, was just as impactful. And then when he go make his own music, you can see how the creativeness it can transcend. Because Cadillac on 22s is nothing like a Pimp, right?
That's right.
Nothing like
That's
a
right.
Pimp. And Rubber Band Man is nothing like either of those.
Oh, man. Come
right?
on now.
So for me, it was like, you know, and again, always having to prove himself and knock down these barriers. And then I was right there with it. Like, let it go.
I mean, songs like My Uzi, though, because, I mean, that's one of them bangers right there that both of y'all boys got on that thing and just snap. Then you got the Pimp on the hook, too, man. Come on.
Oh, man.
What more can you ask for?
See, and then Banner so cold with it, because Banner, I do my verse, get it done, and that's where it lets you know the difference between somebody make beats and produce. Because what you do on a Banner record in the beginning, what you do on the beginning, when you hear it in the end, it's going to be even crazy. Banner gonna go in and make the music move around your vocals.
See that?
And that's the difference between somebody that just made a beat or a producer. You feel me? He gonna make that record move, and then he added the whole symphony on the end, which is on some superhero shit, which you wouldn't even understand, bro. And so it's something to be proud of. And for me, it's like, again, it's this OG still pushing the envelope.
Exactly. Now, for you, producing, though, the production side of Krit, what is that like? And then which one do you love the most, rapping or producing, man?
I'm going to tell you something. I'm starting to really love producing more because I think I can give to the culture more that way. Whether I'm on the record or not, I can be a part of it.
Yeah.
The artist in me, I still love giving ideas, but sometimes the words can get in the way of the beat, right? Or the musicality of a song. Yeah. And I realized that, right? But I always love going in on records, but the producer was next because I like scoring movies. Yeah. I like being a part of the sonics of music, period. So.
And see, from what I understand, you working with that boy Bun on his new album, man. Yeah, talk to me about that, being the music director behind all of that. Now, you sitting over there with the Bun. You already know what he about to do.
Yeah.
Is it any pressure, though, Krit?
Hell yeah. What? Boy, what? You goddamn right it is. Man, look, man, this is what you got to understand. He is not only a legend, but, man, work ethic-wise, that's something to live up to. To be able to create the amount of songs that Bun B is willing to make, quality, and subject matter-wise, in one sitting, is something to live up to, right?
Yeah.
And you can't just come at him with the regular. Like, nah, man, because he in a place where, for him, music has to move and has to transition. How can we grow?
Yeah.
And I'm just there learning and soaking up not only the game musically, but just about life, because he done been through it time and time again with a lot of these situations.
Yeah.
So, it's something to be nervous about, but it's also something that I asked for constantly before I was even in this position, and I wanted to work with UGK. I wanted to create for these OGs.
Yeah.
And now I'm in a position where I can help.
Talk to me, though, about the time that had to pass for you to get to that position. Because, see, you didn't come into the game right there, Krit. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Man, my first mixtape came out in 2002. Yeah, see, Krit was not Krit was here, but See Me on Top 1 came out 2005. But I dropped some shit called Dirty 30 in 2002. So, and then you talking about a See Me on Top mixtape and mixtape every year up until when Krit was here hit, which was 2010. I didn't get signed to 2010. I've been rapping since 1999. You feel me? So it's been
perseverance, though. Talk to me about perseverance,
perseverance, longevity, man, is all important. Like when people, it's hard. If your catalog ain't right, it's hard to complain to me.
Yeah.
Cause it's like, man, you build a catalog and then you give people something to go back and listen to. Let them hear your growth.
Yeah.
It's like people want to go 0 to 60, man, but we in a day and age where it's like everything is created very fast. Mm-hmm. So they know when you real about it, when they can go back years and be like, bro, he been doing it like this. He been creating content like this or subject matter like this. I'm trying to get out of saying content.
Yeah.
And but that's what's in catalog, cause that means you been about it. You been about it, man. It's so easy to pop out now and be like, oh, we been to see the movement, we on it. But nah, man, show people you been about it.
Exactly. Now, I mean, when you jumped off the porch in 99, though, all of your real life experiences that you've had leading up to this point right here, was it everything that you thought it was going to be, or did it turn out to be something a little bit more wilder than you ever thought?
Oh, man, 10 times more. 10 times more, primarily because once I gained a certain amount of success, I used to always ask for it, and it didn't make me happy. So that's what threw me off, right? Because what you want is a big house, you want the nice car, you want the money, whatever. You get that, and that ain't it. That ain't getting you nowhere, because then not only do you not have anyone to share with. Now normally, you just it's not fulfilling the soul, right?
Yeah.
So it's materialistic. It come and go, and then you start questioning the people around you. You start questioning why you do something, and then you turn around and want more. right, like random, like shit. I got all that. I want more though. So it's like once I realized that, I had to dial it down and go back to the very basics of I just want people to hear my music.
Exactly.
Like whether it wins something, it don't matter. Like the people is what keep you doing it, right? And so the interactions with them, the energy passing, and them keeping you, like the tweets, like yo, keep doing what you're doing. Yo, this song, that's what's fueling you, because. The materialistic things are not, my brother. They come and go. They get taken. They break. Boom, boom, boom. But it's that human interaction that keep you moving. And I realized that, and it took me some years to get there, because I went from being excited about rapping, competing, being frustrated when I wasn't getting what I thought I deserved, and then stopping. And like, you know what? Why does that even matter?
Talk to me about when you feel like you're not getting what you deserve, and then having to look around, because it's a game with a whole bunch of players.
Yeah.
And you see other folks might be getting stuff that they might not necessarily deserve.
Well, when you say that, because you got to think about it from, I always go from a spiritual perspective. Maybe that wasn't meant for me. Ooh. Maybe that's not for me. Maybe I wouldn't deal with that in the right manner, right? Yeah. And that's how I try to maneuver in this mind frame now. Mm-hmm. And then when the whole idea of deserving is like, I didn't ask for that, so why do I think I deserve it?
Ooh.
Like, I was like, oh, man, I just wanted people to hear my music.
That
was what I was asking for, right? And so everything else that comes through the pipeline that's great, good. But are people still hearing my music? Yeah, so good.
Come on,
right? You know what I'm saying? Now. Anything else is like, and then again, man, you just got to remember why you started doing this in the first place. And once and keep those people around you that remember, so they can hit you like, yo, bro, you need to chill.
Yeah.
You're doing too much. You asking for that. That's not for you.
What was it like for you when you made the transition over to the majors, though, man? Coming from the underground, man. Next thing you know, you with the majors now. How did you feel about that whole transition?
Well, I mean, in the beginning, I felt great.
Yeah.
Because when you're young, the normally steps is can't wait to hear my song on the radio.
Exactly.
And you're like, man, I want to get a deal. I'm gonna drop an album. Yeah. And so, it was great. And then you start to learn about the numbers, and you start to learn about the creative process, and then you start to learn about, well, if your album don't do this, and what happens when a song don't take, and how do you maneuver around it? How do you keep people involved?
Yeah.
And then once you learn that, then you realize how much footwork you got to put in yourself.
What was it that you learned about yourself during this journey, though, Krit, that you didn't know before?
That we always moved independent. That we always had an independent mind frame, and be it that maybe we saw what the OGs did, right? The hand to hand, out the trunk. We make these relationships in these cities. We still meet people and talk to them, and we build. Mm-hmm. And whether it's on the radio, whether it's on TV or not, they remember that we were genuine and that it was jamming.
Exactly.
And then we'll be back.
Speaking of another jam early on, though, man, you and that boy Wiz Khalifa, Currency, Glass House. Talk to me about
Man.
That time right there when y'all boys was getting it out the mud, but y'all knew y'all was bringing it, though.
South by Southwest 2010. Woo. Right? That was I already met Currency previously that in New York here and there.
Yeah.
And Wiz, I had been in contact with his management at the time, and a few years before that got to that point. But we all had been in this small hub of being from cities that people didn't expect us to be making the content we were subject matter we was making musically, and then just building our fan bases on our own.
Yeah.
And then Glass House, I had brung all my music equipment. Cause I was like, man, I'm coming here. It's gonna be so many rappers. Fuck it, I'm gonna make beats and shit. We gonna record.
Yeah.
So I done set up everything. And in Currency, I remembered the Glass House record because I played it in New York for him when we was working on some other shit. I think it was No Wheaties or some shit. And Currency came in and Weezy came through too because they had shows and shit. And he was like, man, play that Glass House shit.
Yeah.
And I played it. And then we was like, yo, I want to jump on it.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, boom, boom, boom. Them boys both did their verses then. I sit down and I started EQing everything. I recorded both of them.
Yeah.
I mixed they vocals. I did my verse. Cultivated it all, sent it back to everybody, and then Wiz was like, yo, I'm putting this on Cushion Orange Juice. And there you have it.
That's crazy.
We did that shit so random and so regular, and that was back when I was still like keep my mic and record everything myself.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And mixing everything.
Though, man. You know, like I said earlier, Krit, it's not a lot of people that get on these records and snap. Okay, yeah. And it was a song called Mount Olympus, man.
Yeah.
And you go on that motherfucking snap, man. Talk to me about the inspiration behind that, and then just saying, you know what, let me just cuss these niggas out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the confusion because it was so much negativity that came after the Control record. Right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people hadn't even heard of me as an artist, and it's just this wave.
Yeah.
And so it's just the understanding that I'm from the South, and it's like all of a sudden there's people that either wanted to do a tape with me but didn't want to do it until I did a diss record or didn't want to move. I was like, man, well, what you gonna do? And it's all this attention, and I had been doing music.
Yeah.
And for me, it was just like, I'm gonna give you this from this perspective. Now all of a sudden, right? But also having the understanding that I make my own beats, so it's a different perspective. Exactly. I understand lyrical matter, and I understand syllables and metaphors and cadences and similes and how to make them move. So it was me kind of showing how it ain't nothing, right? But I didn't come here for that.
That's right.
Right, and so it worked, and it was a great record, and it never got radio play for real. But that's how it would be sometimes.
Exactly.
But it worked for me, and it made so much sense. And when we went out and performed it, and people got it, and it was something that I could be, again, proud of for the South. Yeah. Right? Because as a country boy, we can rap, and I always tell them that.
Talk to me about the oppression that a country boy receives in this industry and in this game. See, you got your fan base that don't think you country.
Yeah.
They think you one of them. They think you Big Krit.
I mean, well, it ain't even I done. No, they know I'm country because I say it so often. But it's one of them things where it ain't nobody. And I said it on the album, and I go into it. But it's about geography to some degree. When you come from a city that has a population and it's not a vacation destination, it's not a metropolitan city, you have to leave it in order to push your music, or other than blowing up in your backyard. Yeah. That makes it difficult for not only pushing your music, but building your fan base, your support. You have to either go a state over, 2 states over, 3 states over, depending on where you're from. And it's just not easy. And so that's what I'm starting to realize, and how the South and how it is sometimes, and then being from Mississippi, because if you've never been there, you only know what you've seen on TV. You may have a view of me that makes it difficult for you even to receive my music before I even give it to you. So I'm breaking down not only a sonic barrier, but a historic barrier before you even get to listen to my my subject matter, my music, my voice. And that's difficult, bro. You know, and it's a numbers thing too. It's like 60,000 people in my city that I come from, right? There's 12 million people in Manhattan, which is a 12-mile radius. It's maybe more now. Yeah. You know, and so that's a different kind of backyard, my brother.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I tell people, I knew about Compton in movies before I knew about really California.
Exactly.
You don't know about, you know what I'm saying, Meridian, Mississippi. And I'm trying to tell you about it. You know, and people are trying, but it's just the difference in geography. It's a difference in what you grew up watching and learning. And over time, it's bound to change. I just encourage these A&Rs. I encourage people to seek out these people in these small cities that are doing amazing music, doing their thing. That's better than some of the mainstream stuff you get now.
But see, the thing is, though, too, Krit, watching your grind from the outside looking in, one thing that I do understand and I can kind of relate to is that you know what it takes. You know what it takes to come out of Mississippi. You know what it takes to maintain a career for all of these years. You know what it takes to say, you know what? I need to start producing because I need me some damn tracks.
I ain't got no choice
to make that track. Yeah. A lot of folks don't flat out understand what it really takes. You see what I'm saying? When you have to stand up and be Big Krit, ain't nobody come to you and say, you know what, man, you look like Big Krit. You had to say, I'm Big Krit. Hear me roaring here. What was it like that? Well, coming up like that, and then what would you tell to the next guy that want to do what Krit did, but they ain't got no resources, they don't know how to go about it any kind of way? What do they need to know, and what do they need to wrap their mind around right now?
Well, I mean, I start with that, with the tell them, first off, invest in yourself. Always, man, invest in yourself, bet on yourself, and if you think you're making something jamming and people are telling you and it's genuine, you just got to keep doing that, right? You're going to get heard, especially now. It doesn't take marketing dollars for real to get heard because we have social networking and we got streaming now. So if you don't chase what you see somebody else getting and you focus on just building your own, you'll get there eventually. It just might take time, and that's better for you because you're going to be very much prepared for when the opportunity comes. Far as independent, small city, you got to travel. You can't represent where you from, where you at. You got to take that worldwide. You got to go a city over. You got to go somewhere you never been before. You got to do that groundwork, pass some CDs out. Right. You got to press them up properly. You got to also do the open mics because I did plenty of them. You got to film every encounter you have with people because now you got to be people got to see you from the ground up. That's right. And build. Very important. And you just got to be yourself because when you go to doing these interviews, when you go to encountering people, they going to know. And then if you ain't, they going to pull your card depending on where you at. And so it's just about being genuine now more than ever, man. Because when you on your 100th song, 200th song, or your 10th mixtape or 10th album, it's going to show not only financially, but just personality-wise if you weren't being who you were supposed to be in the beginning.
What is it that keeps you pushing right now? And then during that time, what was it that made you take a break for that time too, man?
Man, I took a break because not only did we go through going independent, it's just I saw the opportunity to give my music the kind of care it needed when I was dealing with time frames. I was dealing with so many time frames. It's like, I got to get this mix in. I was like, nah, like this, we don't have to do it this way this time. I could spend 2 years on trying to figure out what kind of organ I want on a song, right? Why not? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did. But what keeps me going is the people because we just do 2 listening parties in Atlanta and it's different people and they hear the music and enjoy the music, right? And it's a party environment, but people are there to listen to the music and they're excited. And man, like if I'm this far in and people still want to hear what I got to say, that's what's important. Because it's so easy, man, for people like, you know what? I could have literally made it to where they didn't want to listen to me at some point if I would just kept away from what I do and tried to sell them something that wasn't genuine. Nah, bro. All the people that shake my hand and tell me that a song helped them or that they love where I'm going or the people that I've been seeing for the past 10-some years still in the crowd, that's what keep me moving.
Talk to me about people trying to steer you early on in your career in a different direction that you weren't ready or willing to go at that time. I mean, how did you deal with those situations?
I mean, you go with the no, and I can't even be mad at them because people don't realize sometimes to them it's a job and it's a way for them to pay their bills and take care of their family. So they may not naturally want to go through whatever they got to do to make you make a record, but they need to pay their bills too. So I understand that.
Yeah.
But I did what I needed to do, which was say no and take the road less traveled. Which I'm pretty sure for a lot of people, they wouldn't have expected me this far down the road to still be here and be relevant. When I dropped Live from the Underground and we did those kinds of numbers, that shocked a lot of people.
Exactly.
Because it just didn't seem like we was going to do that. But sticking with my guns and going for it. Catalactica, it's just like, whoa, you still can do that? Like how to whoa, like, you know, and then to be here now and still be sitting in front of you and we still having conversations about music and what's happening next and the music I'm dropping, bro. It's still a testament, man. The road less traveled is the best way.
Exactly. Now, when it comes to bringing references from the world around you, man, I mean, do you speak about what's going on in these streets right now? Because, I mean, we got a political climate that's crazy. Folks are going, I mean, nuts all over the place. You cut on the news, you're like, what is going on? Mother Earth is crying, and that's a sign. Definitely. You know, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I talk about it in my music and in life, man. I did a record with Kenneth Whalum called Might Not Be Okay just because I was in a weird space where I started to feel like music wasn't helping people because everything is so crazy right now. And as it's scary, man. And I don't mind telling people my perspective of it, of being scared, being worried, being frustrated, being in a position where I don't know, and doing the best way I can to express that. And I think people have known me to always do that. Where it's not trying to be a superhero with it and tell you you're gonna be good. Like, nah, man, shit, I'm scared too.
Exactly.
And I don't mind telling you that in my music, right? And I think it's gonna come off well in this album. But just when I sit down with people now, it's like I think we all are a little dumbfounded about how shit is and how reverse shit is right now.
Exactly.
But as we know it, you got to keep pushing forward, man. Stay prayed up out here in these streets.
You ain't never lied. I mean, Ox Chord, man. Talk to me about that banger right there, boy.
I gotta tell them about who my influences was. And Lord willing, one of the young cats be like, man, who is Willie Hutch? Who is Bill Withers? What is Atlantic Star? Man, I gotta go check. Raphael Sadiq, yeah. Go. Oh, Silent Night, yeah. Your grandma used to play that every Christmas in the background, and you ain't even realize what was going on. But yeah, like it happened, and everybody was eating. Everybody get quiet eating when they come on, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, and figure out the most creative way to pay homage. Again. And I only mentioned one rap group in that entire thing, and that was Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff. You know what I'm saying? Summertime. But to me, that didn't even feel like a rap record. That was just feel good life.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, I have to do that.
What was going through folks' mind when you came out here and you said, hey, man, I'm about to drop a double album on y'all butts?
Crazy.
Come on, man.
Crazy, because I've been gone for so long.
Yeah.
And then to come through and the double album and show the duality, and people know how I get down, right? Where I'm not gonna come out where it's like, oh, it's just halfway done. I'm gonna give my all, man. And yeah, I think I accomplished it. I'm so proud of this album, and nowhere near as worried about it as I was with some of the previous projects.
That's crazy, right?
Because I know where it lives, I know where it stands, and we spent so much time, man, sonically putting it together. Shout out to my engineer too, Wolf, man, engineered by Wolf, because years of sitting down and coming up with just making sure I say words and I'm gonna get this word right. I don't care how many takes I'm gonna do it. We're gonna sit there, breakdowns, and just making sure everything is mixed and we getting it together, man.
Exactly. Lastly, anything else you want to get off your chest, Krit? And how can these folk contact you?
Oh, man, well, yeah, you know, I'm on Twitter, man, Big Krit, you know what I'm saying? Just reach out to me on IG, too, as Big Krit, BigKrit.com. I got all the videos, all the music. The album is definitely dropping on the 27th. You know what I'm saying? It's double album, Forever's a Mighty Long Time. Please go get that. And all I'm saying, man, definitely stay prayed up in these times, man. Definitely cherish your family and your friends, man. Give people roses now. It's one of those situations, man, to pay very much attention to what you put in your body, mind, and soul. Because music is soul food too, and so you got to be very aware of what you consume. And you know, I just want to leave people with that and believe in yourself no matter what.
That's right. Well, Krit,
hey, bro, always, no doubt, bro.
I wish you nothing but the best and much success.
Hey, no doubt, we gonna party some, bro.
Oh, it's time for that. Be High Radio, shout it. It's Hot 107.9, man. Let's go.